In this video, we're going to be discussing Saquon Barkley trying to make history by running for the most yards ever in a single season. There have only been 9 players to ever rush for 2,000 yards in a single season. But this is the problem. I see a lot of people commenting, talking about, oh, well, Eric Dickerson did it in 16 games. Saquon would have to break it in 17 games. Then you got some people, well, O.J. Simpson only did it in 14 games. So really, he should, there has to be an asterisk by everybody else. This is what people need to realize. The amount of games it took to get 2,000 does not matter. That is not what you should be going by. You should be going by how many rushing attempts it took them to get 2,000. So if we're going based off rushing attempts, it took Eric Dickerson 379 attempts to get 2,105. Right now, Saquon Barkley is only, 24 rushing attempts behind him and 100 yards. So Saquon would have to average 4.2. If you give him 24 more carries, he would only have to average 4.2 yards a carry in order to break Eric Dickerson's record. So again, the amount of games it took does not matter. It's how many times that you run the ball. That's like saying, oh, well, Michael Jordan had 54 points, but he took 49 shots. And then at the same time, Giannis had 50 points on 20 shots. One is more efficient than the other. So you can't just say, well, he did it in 14 games. Well, O.J. Simpson, you can, because he had 335 attempts and still ran for 2,000 yards. In 14, it was 14 games, but Eric Dickerson had 379 attempts in 16 games. But to me, Barry Sanders would have been the best because he had 335 attempts and he finished with 2,053. So if Barry Sanders would have ran it as many times as Eric Dickerson would have ran it, Barry Sanders would have the record for the most attempts. But he didn't run it as many times that year as Eric Dickerson did. Think about it. Eric Dickerson ran the ball 44 more times than Barry Sanders and only had 52 more yards. 52 more yards on 44 more attempts. Barry Sanders probably would have had 52 yards in maybe 11, 12 attempts. Now imagine if he had 40. Barry, man, I don't understand why Barry Sanders did what he did. It's no doubt in my mind Barry Sanders, by most people, would be considered a lot of people do consider him the greatest running back of all time. But the fact that he cut his career so short by only playing like 9 years, it would have been Emmitt Smith is an all-time great running back. I don't think Emmitt Smith better than Walter Payton. I feel like Emmitt Smith had a great offensive line in Dallas. I think Derrick Henry could go to Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Thomas. Those are all-time great running backs. Emmitt Smith was a great all-time running back, but again, he played behind some dogs in Dallas. That offensive line, Larry Allen, and then he had Daryl Johnston blocking for him. Dallas, that's why they won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. That offensive line, then you got Michael Irvin on the outside. Dallas was that team in the 90s. That's why I don't know why they call them America's team, but Can you imagine? A lot of Barry Sanders yards came from Barry Sanders, like taking negative plays and running backwards and juking people and stuff. Could you imagine Terrell Davis, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry running behind that Dallas Curtis Martin, Jerome Bettis, Jamal Lewis, Jamal Anderson, Chris Johnson? All these players, Christian McCaffrey, like running behind that Dallas offensive line, man. But anyway, Barry Sanders, I just feel like he cut him and Calvin Johnson. I don't know what it is about Detroit. Maybe Detroit just sucked the life out of those players, and they were just like, I need to go ahead and retire, man, because it's just taking too much of my time and effort, and we're not doing nothing in Detroit. But again, to summarize, please stop talking about, oh, well, so-and-so did it in this many games. So-and-so did it in this many games. Forget the games. Go by how many times they ran the ball, shot the ball, whatever sport you're talking about, took the kicks, took the field goal, like however many attempts it took them. Go by that. Do not go off longevity. Go off how many times it took them to do it, not how many games it took them to do it. But let me know in the comment section, do you think Saquon Barkley will break Eric Dickerson's single season record for the yards? Subscribe to the channel, like and comment. More videos coming soon. Trey T out. Peace.